Record. I know some people have been affected by the weather and by the storm. We have great teams in Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina that are on these calls every week, and I don't know if they'll be able to be on. Some of them were affected by, hey, Paulette, how are you? Some of them were affected by the storm, and so I don't know whether they have electricity or not. We've been checking in with them. They seem to be okay. But as we go through, hey, what's up, Stacy? I like the beard. Get an A+ for the beard. Kind of looking like Santa Claus there a little bit. I like it. How you doing?
I made a little promise to the wife to turn around and grow it. So
nice.
I never break a promise.
Yeah, you're a good man. What's up, Wendy Hill and Tammy? How y'all doing? Hope you guys are having a great night. Miguel, how you doing? So guys, thank you all for joining. As I said, I'm going to go over my part tonight. I'm going to do some personal development at the end tonight. And guys, I am sharing stuff with you guys that I have implemented in our businesses and in our life through personal growth. I am sending 4 separate emails out to our customers and our distributors, former customers, former distributors, current customers, former distributors, just teaching them some things that I've learned through the time period that I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm having the best month in my LifeVantage business that I've had since back when I enrolled in 2011. And you're going to be like, well, how's that happen? Because you know what I've known is that no does, and I'm going to talk about this at the beginning. I'm going to talk about this as we go through this. No doesn't always mean no. You know, I was, Chris and I were talking, I think it was today or yesterday, probably last night, I think. Chris, you have to remind me. Days are kind of running together. Was it yesterday or was it today? I can't remember.
Yesterday.
Okay, so yesterday, Chris and I were talking about this very subject about perseverance and overcoming and not letting rejection. Guys, there's people that have started their LifeVantage business. Now they're just product users, and they're keeping this information for people because of what I'm going to talk about tonight, because they got rejection, and rejection will affect you in every area of your life. I would probably be a Pro 8 or a Pro 9 by now had I did what I'm doing now. Like, you guys can't see that, but there's a board of people right here that I'm going to either enroll this month or within the next 2 weeks. I've got a friend of mine that's coming over to this business that I met through one of my masterminds. His dad's a pastor in the UK. And I'm going to be in Ohio doing some meetings with Jen, Dr. Jen, and some trainings up there. And I'm going to meet with him and his dad. His dad is coming over from the UK. And just, guys, people are looking. It's times are changing. People are looking for a solution to their health. They're looking for a solution to a lot of things. And Mike Fleiner's on today, and him and I talked about this yesterday. Like, I'm just blown away. Look, we know there's other pieces out there than what LifeVantage has. You have to exercise. You have to eat healthy. But we've also proven that you don't have to do that. When you look at my father getting off of 17 medications, and my father never changed his eating habits or at all during that time frame. And so, but I know as a health coach and as a nutritionist that there's a lot of things. But what happens is now we're in this change and shift where practitioners are starting to find out that staying inside of a protocol just isn't working the way it used to. And there's better products. A lot of you guys don't know this, and I don't publicize all the time, but I've been doing research for companies for years. Like, I have some products right here on my desk that I'm doing research with friends and families and colleagues and doctors, and we're all collaborating to use this information, like the big crave is CBD oils. And no, I will never be leaving LifeVantage to do anything else, but I do take other products, guys, because I know they're going to help me with my health. But here's the thing. You guys don't have any competition with what we have with LifeVantage. All these other companies and their products have competition, and we don't. Are we going to? Probably, yes. But just like and I've said this, and you've heard me say this, and I'm just saying it so you guys can grasp it and understand it and be encouraged by it. You don't cut your hand and put an adhesive bandage on it. You put it, it is what you put on it, but what do you call it? You call it a Band-Aid, right? Same thing when you blow your nose. You grab a Kleenex. We are way ahead of everybody in nutrigenomics and biohacking. People are trying to steal it. Doesn't work. And it's just amazing. I believe you're going to see a shift in a lot of former customers coming back if you go back and educate them. I believe you'll see people who are just using Pro Tandem use a Vitality Stack. If you show them that it's $5 a day, if they just skipped buying coffee at Dunkin' Donuts or at Starbucks, they could spend that on their health. Guys, people are looking to preventative medicine. I'm going to share this, and then I'll share my thing because I think Daniel's going to be on about 20 after or 25 after or so to finish up. But just listen to this. I have a friend that I shared with. His name is John Rosario. Was a Pro Tandem user for years. Had some financial difficulties. Called me day before yesterday or 2 days ago, and left a message. Said, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna send you a message on Facebook." He sends me a long, detailed message saying, "Hey, I've been watching you. I've been watching your health. I've watched you look younger in the last 7 years. I want to know I want to know the big picture of Life Vantage and what this has to offer." People are watching you. There are so many. I texted people today in our downline, and there's people that aren't on here today that need to be on here and hear this piece right here. We are, as you guys know, we're getting back to the basics. You know, I'm studying our new tear-off sheets that we've got from Building Depth, and I'm just going to tell you guys, you being at convention and getting this information is going to change your business drastically. You know, there's Jason Kakinzi, who I was on a call with the other night, who's never done network marketing before and has created 2 Pro 7 positions, okay? James Hayden went from 50, you guys heard it last week, went from 56,000 to 163,000 by doing this. Don't tell me nobody wants to listen to you. You're just doing it the wrong way. And it's okay, because guess what? You can hit the reset button. And so I'm going to jump in to sharing some of this information with you guys tonight, because I believe it's important. And I believe that you guys will understand this as we go through this, and you're going to start to see that you can do this. And so I'm going to talk real quick about rejection. I believe rejection is the #1 reason why people don't do this business. I look at people on Facebook and I see their kids, and their kids are overweight, and I see their kids are sick all the time. One of the guys that I'm upgrading as a distributor this week is a guy I met at one of my masterminds. He heard Dr. John Huey talk about the science and about the human application and what it does and difference between supplements. And he started taking the product. And his whole family went through this last part of the season getting sick. And for the first time in 5 years, he didn't get sick. Well, why do you think that is? Because he's taking a Vitality Stack. He's boosting his immune system. He's cleaning out his gut. And he lost 30 pounds since he started taking it 4 months ago. Guys, this is where rejection starts. And I'm going to talk to you real quick about these 4 reasons. And the 4 reasons how you can personally grow from when somebody says no, right? And so you ask them why they say no. I always ask them, so what made you say no, right? And you know what I do? I ask people this all the time. And the funniest thing about it is I was actually talking to Daniel about this today, because when we were talking about the tear-off sheet, and I knew he was going to be on a little bit later, and I said, Daniel, this is getting back to exactly what got you to Pro 7 in a year. And he said, yeah. He said, you're exactly right. And so that's why we're going to run with this. We're going to get back to the basics, is teaching people how to do things duplicatable. So if somebody tells you no, you just ask them why. As comfortable as it can be, asking why you were rejected can bring some painful but life-changing truths. It may be just your approach. Maybe it's timing for them. You go back and you put them back on a list like I have. 3 people on this list that are getting ready to sign up told me no 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. Okay? And just look, if you can be brave enough to ask what you did wrong or what could you have done better, right? Or can you bring yourself to the entirely new place taking an honest self-look to know where you need to improve will help you begin working on becoming a better you. And I was going to tell you where that starts at. It starts getting on these calls on Thursday nights. 45 minutes out of your week, okay, to grow. If I had 2 emails this week of people that have been attending these calls, and it has affected their personal life for the better, okay? And that's why we do these. We don't just want you to be better at business. We want you to be better at life. We want you to be better in your spiritual walk, wherever that may be. So always ask questions. This is what's changed me drastically, made me a whole different person, is because I believe that the person who asks the most questions wins. Number 2 way to grow from rejection is take a break. Hey, Lisa and I just did this. We took a break. We've been working really hard and we've been split testing things, and some things are working good and some things are, and so we were just like, no phones. And I remember there's people, and like I see Kathy on here, it's like, you guys just need a way to be able to get away, and we didn't. We were kind of glad that the social media app that we had didn't work, right? So it says the reflection that can come after rejection can help you hit the reset button. Sometimes you need rejection to force you to take a break, take a beat, breathe. Maybe it's time to look away from your laptop for a weekend, or take a short trip with a friend, or go to convention. I don't know. That was a joke. But most of you guys should be at convention anyway. You may find some clarity in time off, right? Taking time away from everything. Debriefing, we call it in the entrepreneurial world, right? As healing from pain and rejection. It's like somebody who gets into a relationship, goes through massive pain, and then runs back to the relationship, right? It's the same thing of when people constantly telling you no and no and no and no. And in this business, people quit. That's what they do. Like, I'm just going to take the products. I'm not going to share. I'm tired of people telling me no. Well, remember that 85% of your signups will come on the 5th follow-up, right? So, and only 1% of you on this call will do 5 follow-ups with people. Okay? Number 3, accept it. It is what it is. Accept it and move on. When you truly listen to rejection, it can be the greatest gift of your future. So many people spend time pursuing others' unsuccessful venues before finding their true calling. I believe you found it. I believe that you can finish that. I believe a lot of people go through and they're looking and they're looking and they're looking, and then they find it and they're never able to finish. Having flexibility to accept a rejection and move forward with resilience can lead you to something even better than you were planning before. Like more people, like going to convention and meeting people. Like my prime example, my guy Evan, who took the product and is now upgrading distributor. He's like, bro, I want to go to convention. I want to meet people. I want to know how they're doing this. I want to teach people how I'm going to use social media and Facebook ads, how to create people to know, like, and trust me. Like, gosh. And then I have another doctor that I'm signing up that I met at another event that I went to outside of LifeVantage. He's a doctor and an author, and I just want to learn from people. I just want to know how this works. And he's like, I want to put it into my funnels, and I want to follow the system, and I want 100 tear-off sheets. Guys, people are out there. I told Chris this. They're there. It's a time frame. Imagine if Steve Jobs would have quit when everything was happening. I had 2 people today, that watched my training on the long game, both doctors, found it on YouTube, and messaged me and said that YouTube video on playing the long game completely changes their mindset and shifted them in a better direction at doing business. Guys, it's just the little things that you do to invest in yourself. Please don't give up. Don't quit. Do what you say you're going to do. Play the long game. It's going to change your future. And then the last one, ignore it. And I love this. I love how this goes like this. Amazing things happen when you believe in yourself. To push past a rejection. If you truly believe in your dream, keep going. Find a way around the rejection and persist. Okay? While this may not work in the matters of love, it can be an important step in business, creative, and even with athletics, right? I found this true. Becoming stronger than a rejection and moving on unaffected will turn you into a giant among men. I'm going to be bold and say this, and I promised myself that I was going to do this tonight, okay? You guys know that we have joined the Building Depth thing, and I've been saying this for a while. I got an amazing phone call on Tuesday night. Every time I do a gifting test, I've always learned that my gifting is in teaching. My passion and our baby is LifeVantage. We believe in that, even though we're launching our own television program and launching more programs and more programs. LifeVantage is still our baby. We believe that we're able to do this because of the impact that this has had on our lives. Lisa's dad is getting better from his Parkinson's. Lisa's sister was just able to have a baby. I believe it's because that we've helped them get healthy. Tyler Daniels. I'm sorry. Honey, can you bring some water, please? Marcel Niederhauser said to me, the phone call, he was calling me the other night, and Marcel is just a funny guy. And hold on one second, you guys. Just a funny guy. And he said, hey, Mike, I need to ask you a question. He said, I've had so many people recently tell me that you're one of the best teachers in this company. How would you feel about going out and teaching LifeVantage Academy on a permanent basis? I was like, wow. For me, it was reality. It was all of the investments I've made in myself and I've made at making this a priority and just not getting offended or rejected when I wasn't teaching and I wasn't going. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. He said, I've had too many of the leaders in this company come to me and say that they want you out teaching in their areas. And so my first teaching is coming next month in November in Twin Cities, Idaho. Twin Falls. I've never been to Idaho, so I'm super excited about that. Sherry Hollenbeck was telling me that she has a lot of her team there, and they're all super excited to have me, and I'm super excited to go. So, as you said, you just ignore it. And I like this at the end. This is very powerful, guys, and listen to this. And hold on one second. Honey, can you text Daniel and see if he's ready? I see Kathy's on, but I'm not sure if Daniel is ready or not yet. And Kathy, if you're on, as soon as I'm done with this, if you can text me or Lisa and let me know if Daniel's ready. I've got about 5 more minutes. Okay. Did you know that these gifts can be recovered retroactively? Now think about this. It's true. Stop and think about your past failure. So many of us carry around past failures on our backs. Whether we think we're affected by them or not, using one or more of these techniques for dealing with failure, even years ago, can turn you into a stronger, smarter, healthier, more successful person. I'm going to tell you, they have for me. I read a great book called Go for No that helped me understand that I didn't have to want this for people. I didn't have to want this more for people than they wanted it for themselves, right? And I like what this says. And the next time you face a no, you'll be better equipped to deal with it in a productive manner. So there's a great amount of people on here tonight. Would anybody like to comment on maybe something that they've learned from rejection or something that they thought? And guys, this is how we grow as entrepreneurs. When we travel to events, most of our masterminds challenge people to get up and talk. One of the greatest things at our mastermind was when Eric Thomas asked all of us, 90 of us as a group at Thrive Connect, what we wanted him to teach about. And then he sat down and one by one, people stood up and told him the impact that he had on their life and things that he said and did that impacted their life, including my wife. So guys, let's be a little interactive tonight. Would anybody like to comment or say something or add to what we've talked about rejection tonight? Because I just want you guys to really remember these things. As you want to, first thing you want to do is you want to ask why. The second thing, take a break if needed. Third, just accept it. And then the fourth thing, ignore it. And guys, this will make a massive difference in your life. So I'm just going to open it up for a couple minutes and see if maybe somebody would like to make a comment or just add something to it so that we can kind of have some interaction until Daniel comes on.
This is Paulette.
Hi, Paulette.
Hi. As you know, I was in a BNI group and it kind of ended up ugly. And I wasn't really treated very well with my LifeVantage business. And I think that at the end, I thought I'm not being bold enough. I'm not being strong enough. So my new BNI group, I'm being overly bold and overly strong and overly confident. And it's like people are like, wow, where have you been? It's been amazing the last 6 weeks.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Music to my ears because, I had this conversation with Paulette back when that BNI thing went down, when she was unable to, they were kind of just, and Paulette, refresh my mind, how long were you involved in that BNI?
Almost 4 years.
Oh, wow. So a very long time. So congratulations. And that's, guys, and that's why when Tyler and Marcel came to us and said, hey, we really want you guys to be a part of Building Death. And I started seeing guys that had never done network marketing before in small towns in Indiana and small towns in Colorado. And, all these people, just their businesses were growing like crazy. And ours was just staying the same. And so, and you guys are going to laugh. But you know what they just kept saying? Let's just go out and continue to enroll as many people as we can. And Lisa and I are super excited because I know my wife is going to enroll 15 to 20 people in the next 3 to 6 months.
Woo!
And you know why? Because she's stepping out from underneath that fear of rejection. And we talked about it. I believe that's why I'm teaching about it tonight. So anybody else that's on, what's that?
He's on Kathy's phone.
Oh, he's on Kathy's phone? Okay. Anybody else before I bring Daniel on?
Hey, Mike.
Go ahead, Chris.
You know what? We refer to it in the business that I'm in with Dent Wizard as getting kicked in the teeth. We joke around about it, but you know what? When I first started, I looked at rejection as some sort of failure, and then I figured out, what am I doing wrong? And then I realized not everybody is going to say yes. And I you know what? I walk in, I talk to the manager, I say, hey, this is what I'm here for. This is what I do. Not, we're all set. We're good. Don't need this, don't need that. Okay, great. Shake their hand, walk out. I go to the next place, and the next place says yes. There's always going to be somebody that's going to say yes. You just have to keep going past the no's, and you'll end up with the yeses. And it's taught me a lot, working the LifeVantage business and the business that I do with my company. It's very similar. I can't even tell you how many no's I get. And I think in 1 year, we have now achieved 60 new dealerships. Nobody has even done that in 4 years ahead of me, and I was able to do that in 1 year. So I've got past it. Like, I walked in the other day to a guy, shook his hand, talked to him a little bit. He's like, yeah, we're all set, buddy. See you later. And I'm like, okay, no problem. He was kind of a jerk. Walked into the next dealership. The next dealership says, when can you start? Great. I only needed one. I had 4 places to go to, and I just needed one. I had 3 no's and 1 yes. It was success. So.
Yeah, and you know what, Chris, you and I have talked about this all the time, is that when you really trust God with everything that you're doing, he protects people from being in your business or being part of you, that kind of protects us from not having to deal with certain people, right? And so you and I both were talking about this. Like, I believe Chris's better days are ahead of him. I believe he's getting ready to do some amazing, amazing things, not only in his professional life, but in his business and in what we call LifeVantage, our side hustle. I believe there's a lot of things getting ready to happen. So before I bring Daniel on, is there anybody else? Please, let's make a comment or maybe add to what you heard tonight about rejection. Maybe something that you've learned and that you've grown that can help somebody else tonight. Anybody else want to make a comment or just say something about what we've been talking about?
Hey, Mike, this is Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, I want to say, first of all, I totally agree with the 4 reasons, especially 1 and 2. They really hit home for me. And as far as rejection, I have always had a problem with rejection my whole life. So being in this business, I guess through personal growth and everything, I'm learning that I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter because I'm not taking it personally. It's not me. And like you said, if you ask why, you'll realize it has nothing to do with you. It's on them, and you can work through that. So I
Amen.
love it.
Amen. And you can and you can grow from that. Like you can grow from asking questions. Like I would probably say the person that's most charismatic in overcoming rejection in this company is Sherry Hollenbeck. Like, she just, like, if somebody, she'll go right to the person's house because, and when they say, oh, I need to reschedule, she'll just walk right up to the door, right? Like, and if they say, she's like, okay, when can I come back? Tomorrow? like she just learns and grows from it and says, wise. So is there anybody else that wants to make a comment? One or two more people. Everybody else is scared. A lot of people in here. Anybody want to make a comment? I'm just congratulating all of you that this ministered to, because I read it 3 times today, and it's pretty powerful, guys. It's pretty powerful. I've lost a lot of money recently by not doing those things and partnering with people that I know, like, and trust. And you guys are going to hear that all throughout your shift. You guys don't want everybody in your business, but you do want to give them the opportunity. And that's why that's 5 follow-ups. Anybody else before, and I'll bring Daniel on. Anybody else want to make a comment or suggestion or something that they took away from this? Okay, I'm going to bring Daniel on, and I think he's on Kathy's phone. I'm going to unmute them. And Kathy, you can bring back on your camera. I sent you to, if possible. If not, it's okay. But I wanted Daniel. Oh, there you go. Hey, Dan. I wanted Dan to come on and talk a little bit about just some things that he's got happening. Him and he had the privilege this week of being on a call with Tony Kratzowitz and Blue Elam about these great tear-off sheets that we got in the building depth. And I'll tell you one of the things before I turn it over to Daniel that really has been cool for Lisa and I is we took the workbook and we allowed it to get us an idea of where our business was and people that were working and people that were actually, we had some people that weren't really active in the business, and then we saw that they're now starting to enroll customers and they're doing, YouTube videos and customers, and it just allowed us to kind of map out our organization. And so, and also Daniel is going to be showing the movie The Favorite. I think tonight was the last night here in Pinellas County, and I'm just going to, Daniel, if those of you guys know, Daniel's a Pro 8. He's a iron roller. Dr. Daniel Bernard has been a good friend of Lisa and I, and him and Kathy for a long time. They run a nonprofit organization here in the Pinellas County area and Tampa Bay area called Somebody Cares Tampa Bay, which my wife and I take a lot of joy and pride in being a part of. And we got to do a service project a couple weeks ago where we painted a lady's house and completely turned her house into, it was the only crappy house in the neighborhood. And now her neighbors, I've been texting her and talking to her, and the neighbors said, we don't know what you did with your house, but we want to hire those people. And I said, tell them we're not hireable. So I'm just honored that Daniel could come on tonight and just share a little bit about where things are at for him. And now that the movie's going, and how he's going to offer the movie at convention, which if you're going to convention, that'll be great. And so Daniel, why don't you take over, brother?
Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. Hey, everybody. Great to be on. Really busy night tonight. Just kind of sliding in here and just finished up the last viewing of our movie, The Favorite, and very exciting. We got a 9.6 IMDb rating. That's 9.6 out of 10 and a 4.9 out of 5 on the Rotten Tomatoes audience response. So, guys, really excited. And Mike, before I talk about that real quick, I just want to let you know that, one thing I do is that, just within me, when I get rejection, I start saying to myself, man, I'm praying for you because y'all are stupid. Anyway, man, you passing this, y'all must be stupid to pass up on this. I'm praying for y'all. So anyway, just think about that, guys. That puts you in a whole different posture, doesn't it?
You're gonna lay hands on him or something.
Y'all are stupid.
Lisa's over here laughing too.
You saying no to me? Y'all are stupid. Okay, anyway. All right. So really, man, right? Have fun with it. You know what I mean? That's why you got to go for the no, right? So, but yeah, the bottom line is that we see people going all over the place and doing everything, and I even talked with Mark Shinsato today, and he just says, Dan, I'm just staying with the same PowerPoint, the same tear-off sheet. I'm just doing the tear-off sheets, and That's what I do. Mark told me, he said, use a tear-off sheet. And he said we had a meeting with 11 people. All 11 people signed up. He said either as customers or distributors, all 11 signed up in my last meeting. So that was very encouraging. Just getting back to basics. It's reproducible. It's simple, and it's a sure thing. We can always implement, and everything is just a tool. But just remember that there's some basic things that you want to just make sure everybody is doing and on the same page with. And so I haven't been able to get into total depth like Mike has with everything. I'm planning to look more and more into it. But just the principle of it is very solid, guys. So, hey, the other thing, just real quick, like you're talking about the movie, I was able just a little bit of a testimony, guys. I'm just being real with you, okay, is that I have not, put in the time and so forth in LifeVantage that, that I obviously have for the first, like four or so years of LifeVantage. Of course, I had a big hiccup in year 3 when my son was in a near fatal car accident. So that knocked me out. But, the thing is, you don't have to get to Pro 10 to pursue your dreams. You know what I mean? So one reason why I want to say, hey, y'all come for free to the viewing of The Favorite is because you guys made it happen. Everybody who's on this team, Mike's team, and my whole team, you guys worked it as you worked the business, as you've been faithful to do it. That allowed me basically to pursue, doing a feture film. Think about that. I run a full-time ministry that covers 3 counties, and of course I got a family of 6 children, and we produce a feature film, and you got to get it funded, marketed, and everything else, and it is tons of work. So big time. And guys, the fact that if it's an indie self-distributed film, not only are we getting into major, theater chains like Regal and so forth, but then we got held over and held over and held over. We're in our 5th week. It's just unheard of for an indie film that's self-distributed to be held over like this. So guys, I think you're going to love it. It's going to be impactful and inspiring. And I just as kind of a little bit of a thank you. If you're going to make it, it's going to be Thursday at convention, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's the only time we really felt like we could find a spot where everybody doesn't have too much going on. But if you can make it, the invitation is out for just my team, and I'm inviting the elites. But we're going to be at the Megaplex Theater. It's a huge, we'll be in a 235 seater. So we're going to be on the big screen for sure. And so and then they got a popcorn deal for $7.70. So, tell Mike, tell me, but you do need an RSVP. Let me know that you're there, you're coming, so we can, and if you want the $7.70 for they just need to prepare. You don't need to pay in advance. I just need to know who wants to do that, so they can prepare. And for your you get a 32-ounce drink and a medium popcorn for that. For as far as movie prices, that's a pretty good deal if you want to do that. So whatever, guys. Listen, it's just our way of saying thank you, and it's very exciting that we can. The thing is that's the power of residual income. You can, we didn't have the foot fully on, the full throttle here, but we were able to pursue this dream, producing a feature film that's going to impact lives globally, and yet that residual income is there. So now that as we're finishing up these phases of the film, we can come back and just push right back into our business. Are you kidding me? Is that crazy or what? I mean, usually people either you gotta totally quit and then, restart up all over again or whatever. Not so here, man. So this is the best deal on the planet. Go for it, guys. Build it. And you got a great leader in Mike. And so I just want to encourage all of you.
Well, thank you.
Mike and Lisa. Sorry, Lisa. Didn't want to leave you out there.
She can hear you. Daniel, thank you so much. Guys, think about that. Think about what Daniel just said. He now has been able, and you know what? We're not even close to momentum, so he just comes right back in. pushes through, does the things. Guys, that's why you have to look. Timing is now, and I don't believe Daniel was like me. We don't believe in coincidence, and it's coming towards the end of where people are learning about this. Like, I'll give you a prime example. I'm huge at networking right now, and if you're not networking, you're crazy. If you're not, and look, I've got people that are leaving other companies to come to our company. Guys, we have people at the red carpet event now, week after week after week after week, because they can't what we have. Okay, so what I want you guys to try to just start remembering is that the timing for you to do your business is now. Daniel made it to Pro 7 in a year using this tear-off sheet. And this is better than the one that we had before, okay? There's places to write on the back of it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's the income earning statement on this side, how you get paid down at the bottom over here. You know, I mean, guys, this is simple. This is simple and easy. And like you just heard it, Mark Shinsato said, you know, it's really super. And we have a PowerPoint for it too that you can walk through. They can write stuff on this as you go through it. And then you have something to give them, and then you can follow up with them. I can tell you this. I have 4 3-way phone calls tomorrow with strangers that I've met in my net, that I'm finding through networking, that I've put them in a Facebook Messenger, and now I'm doing 3-way phone calls with them with somebody else tomorrow. Dr. John DeWitt is joining. He works with NFL players with traumatic brain injuries, and I put him on the phone with Arthur Lupsha. Another big thing, and I'll finish with this, and if anybody has a comment or a question or anything that they want to talk about, we'll leave that open for 5 or so minutes. But guys, the only way you're not being successful is that you're not working this or treating it like a business. You know, you have to be aggressive with it. You know, I'm super excited that I get to go back out in the field and teach Life Vantage Academy, because I'm going to be praying and praying and praying and going there and influencing people like crazy. You have that same influence, guys, right in your city, right in your hometown. You know, like, I think it's great that Wendy stepped up and said, hey, look, I've been struggling with rejection, right? Who cares? Rejection is I always say rejection's a liar, right? Because you can, like Daniel said, like, you're rejecting this, and you can't want this for people more than they want it for themselves. Like my friend Bob McIntosh today, who's a good friend of Lisa and I's, who's in Thrive Connect with us, said, look, y'all can look at all these different network marketing companies, but they're all in competition with one. He said, I'm with one that has no competition, right? And he's right. And then I said, where'd you get that from? And he said, you. And I was like, you plant seeds with people, and then you just love them where they are and you encourage them. Guys, I've told you, I've done this all wrong all the time. But now the personal development, the fruit of my labor, has changed into people that have just been product users that are doing 3-way phone calls. They're bringing distributors in. They're bringing customers in. Steve Jobs did it. He went through almost going bankrupt and then back up, and now he's $1 trillion company. So thank you, Daniel, for sharing what you shared. I think the better days of Life Vantage are ahead, because we're working out the kinks to this. I don't know if any of you guys have had a chance to go to the LV coaching thing. It's off the chain. If you haven't, please go on there and look at it and try it and use it. If you want to try it out, get in contact with Lisa, and she'll let you look at hers and see if it's something that you want to use. But guys, do that. Does anybody on here tonight have a question or a comment that wants to bring value to us before we go? We usually try to stop at 9:45. We're about 5 minutes away. Does anybody have something that guys, and look, I don't know if you've had a chance to go to Freedom Fighters or Team Build It Up and look at the video of what they're giving away at convention. I've had people enrolling for convention all this week. It's not too late for you to go. Trust me, you can make the changes and go. I had a guy it's enrolling tomorrow that's going. You know, so there's a lot of stuff happening. This new product line is going to even more affect our DNA and more biohack our bodies. So anybody have a comment or a question or something that they want to bring value to this before we go? Give you a couple minutes. Anybody?
Me.
Who's that?
The Q.
Who is? Who's on?
This is Q.
Hey, what's
Q.
up, Q? Go ahead.
What's going on, Mikey?
How you doing, man?
I just always good every day, man. I make it that way though. It's a choice.
Awesome.
All I wanted to say was consistent self-discipline. That's it. Consistent self-discipline.
That's it. That's it. And that's what this is about. That's what overcoming rejection is about. Consistency. Guys, just being intentional. You know, I think I told you guys this. I'll share this last piece with you. One big thing that I learned from one of my masterminds as a 23-year-old young man, Chase Maher, said that he does an hour of, I think I've shared this with you guys before, he does an hour of follow-up and an hour of new exposure. He said, look, if you can't do an hour, then you do 30 minutes. If you can't do 30 minutes, you do one presentation. One presentation. You know what I like about the tear-off sheets? Here's how you'll know if your people are doing it. Guess how many tear-off sheets are on here? 15. How many presentations are you supposed to do a month? 15. You'll know whether you're doing them. Okay? I do, and you can, you know what I do? I take one off and put it in the back of these things when I'm doing one online using the PowerPoint. And look, here's how you can get the PowerPoint, because I just had 3 texts. The PowerPoint is in the Building Depth Facebook page, okay? And it walks you through the tear-off sheet, and you can use it on your phone and download it on your phone. Anybody else? Anybody else want to make a comment? Thanks for that comment, Q. Anybody else? Comment or suggestion before we go? All right. Guys, thank you so much for joining our Thursday night call. I hope that you guys were encouraged. I hope that you were pushed to do something with your business. I'm leaving on Sunday for California, but up until then, let's make some things happen. My wife and I are enjoying just the shift and what people are doing. We have people that weren't enrolling people that are enrolling people. And new people are upgrading. We have people upgrading all the time. You guys can upgrade distributors. You can or upgrade customers all the time. Go back to your customers. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this tonight as much as I did. And just love God and live with passion. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of our life. Thank you for being the best part of LifeVantage. And Lisa and I love you all, and we'll see you soon. Okay. Love you guys.